Hello, I am Dale
Nice to
from
meet you.
Dale's Gig Reviews and Metalliville Online Magazine, and I am joined by Thorn Black and Rose Blood, I believe.
That's
Yes,
right.
that is us.
And there's some really cool shades.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I
I have a big
see. I
collection.
got I got caught lacking. I left my bat shades. I should have grabbed those. Let's see.
I mean,
I mean, hold on. I gotta be part of the cool kids
you could
club.
be
Here we
part
go.
of the cool kids
There you go.
club and
There you
just
go.
Oh,
There you go. Now I feel cool again. Hold on. There we are. There we are.
excellent. Because seeing as I was joined by horror fans, I've got my Ice Nine,
Oh
Ice
yeah.
Nine,
Art the
my
Clown.
Art the Clown, and I got my
I
Ice
got
Nine
my
Kills Art the Clown there.
I got my
Nice.
Elvira. I got my
Oh, you've
Elvira
got
Mission
Eldaro.
Physical.
Haha, fantastic.
I got my
Well,
rocker vest, which is covered in patches and stuff. I got specimen on here, skinny puppy on there.
no. Well, I was going to start the interview wearing something, but I managed to spill my coffee, so I'm in a bit of a flap. But I was going to put on my plague mask.
Oh, nice. I love it.
Nice.
So, because where I live, we've got a place just up the road where I've actually got friends who live there, in a village called Eam, and it's known as a plague village. So when
Oh,
the bubonic
really?
plague happened, they had a case of plague, and they shut off the whole village, and nearly everybody died. So they didn't infect the rest of the villages around them.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Wow.
it's really quite dark where we live, and we don't live
That's so
that far from
creepy.
Whitby either, which is obviously well known for Dracula.
Mm,
Mm.
good
And
stuff.
the reason why,
You're like
sorry.
a little home village.
That is great. So the reason why we're talking so much about horror, you're from a band called Cut Like This, and
Yes.
it's horror-based heavy metal, basically.
Hmm.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So it's how would you describe it? Because I've listened to it. I think it's a bit like a sort of a doom metal with a horror sort of vibe, and it's very lyrically driven. So how would you describe it?
I would definitely put it in there. Some people, let's see, often we've been called like a horror punk with a lot of metalcore influence and stuff like that. I feel like doom metal is fairly appropriate because I'm definitely into really sludgy, slow, dirgy metal, like stuff that just sounds like you're impending doom. Like that's my jam. That's where I like to live.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's really interesting because you've got a bassist which is Corey Carver and
Yes.
Thorn Black with the wonderful shades and the wonderful
Mhm.
jacket, and you're the guitarist,
That's right.
and Roseblood, you're the singer.
That's
Where's your
right.
drummer? Who's your drummer?
Oh, our drummer is us. We make the
Yeah, we
drums,
make the drums
actually.
ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, we do all our drum programming and stuff.
Right, so you play it on like a backing track behind you while you.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have like a bunch of different. We actually just recently did a interview with a show called Gear Noir where we kind of go into our gear and what we use to play back our drum tracks when we perform live. But yeah, so we use that simply because when we first started our band, like right when we were launching and everything, is right when COVID like locked everything down. But we were on like this high of like writing
Hmm.
music, and we were like, well, we're gonna keep writing stuff. So if you think it's difficult to find a drummer in New York City, which it incredibly so is, it's very difficult to find a drummer that's not in like 12 bands
Seriously,
already
they're in a million
in New York
bands.
City. But to
Yeah.
try to find one during the pandemic is like just
Yeah,
insanity.
it wasn't
So it was
happening
it
then.
wasn't
Yeah.
happening at all. And we were just determined. We're very DIY. We do everything in this band ourselves. I do a lot of the artwork and the photo editing and the costume designs and things like that. And we've just taught ourselves. He taught himself how to do video editing and directing and stuff like that. I'm always learning new skills from editing MIDI drums to doing, prosthetic effects. I actually did all of the prosthetic effects in our video for Boogeyman, which
Wow.
was definitely that was my biggest
Mhm.
I've done makeup a bunch, you know, theatrical makeup for a long time. I've done some makeup for some horror films and some independent horrors and stuff like that. And I do it obviously for our music videos and everything. And I do it for performances also because we are circus performers. So I've been doing
Yeah.
makeup for a really long time. But that was definitely the most challenging thing I've ever done. Like I had to wear like things to get rid of my boobies and stuff, like underneath my clothes to like turn into like a monster straight up. I put in these denture things in my mouth that when I was because I was singing as the boogeyman in the video, it shredded up the inside. I had scars and cuts all over the inside of my mouth.
Those teeth were so sharp. They were so sharp.
Yeah, that sounds painful.
So yes, I have literally bled for this band.
So you mentioned that the circus performers, because I've read that you're a circus former circus acrobats, or is that something
Yeah.
you still do?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What circus did you perform with, or do you perform with?
We perform not with a specific circus. We perform with a lot of different circus entertainment companies all around New York City and all. Yeah, we performed all over the world. We've even gone as far as South Africa, Algeria.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
That's like,
that was a special one. But some of the more normal-ish stuff that we performed for a lot of different music festivals. We
yeah.
performed at Electric Zoo. We were like their featured stilt performers for like 4 years in a row. So we got to perform with all kinds of humongous musicians, including our favorite like hard style dubsteppy musician, which is Excision. So we actually got to perform during his set, which was really cool. Great. We performed with Shaq. Shaq actually DJs, so he DJs as DJ Diesel. We performed with Waka Flocka Flame, with Steve Aoki, a lot of really big EDM.
Oh yeah, we got to meet Diplo and perform with
him. We got to meet with Diplo.
Yeah.
We performed with Marshmallow.
Wow.
All kinds of big acts like that. Of them, Waka Flocka Flame was super nice. They were the nicest to us. They came like backstage to find us to say thank you, which was amazing.
Totally went out of his way to thank us for what we did on stage with him, which we were really surprised because like he literally was searching backstage for all of us.
Exactly.
As opposed to like, you know, nothing against the other guys, but he was like searching, like, no, I have to find these guys before I leave. I was like, oh wow, really?
Steve Aoki was very nice too. He actually stopped and like took pictures with us and stuff like that after the set was done. After he threw a cake in somebody's face and stuff. Oh man, that cake is gross to clean off of costumes. Oh, it was so nasty. It had like gotten onto everything and it was really disgusting. But it was a very cool moment nonetheless.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. I mean, your coolest levels when you came on, you look pretty cool, but now you told me about all this stuff that you've done. You've gone like up here with the coolness. That's fantastic, you know. I can only just walk on my legs. I'm waiting for an operation, and let alone walk on stilts. So
walking on stilts is definitely a hazardous task.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It doesn't take that long to actually learn how to balance on stilts. It just takes a long time to have that situational awareness to like constantly be searching the environment,
it's dealing with the people,
and dealing with the chaotic environment and people that you know what I mean, like. And
also, just because you walked there earlier does not mean it's safe to walk there again, because people spill drinks all the time, and that's like one of the biggest things you got to look for is wet floors. You know? So
water is your enemy when you learn stilt walker. Water and wind. Wind is a really big nasty enemy. We've had to form human chains to save other stilt walkers that were like getting blown away because we were in
Vermont.
Vermont. So in Vermont, they have the Magic Hat Brewery. I don't know if you like beer, but Magic Hat has a big brewery over there. We performed at it, and they have this big parade, and it was like -4 degrees Fahrenheit. It was very extremely cold. And
I'm like, they're gonna cancel it, right?
No,
that's normal. That's normal weather for them. So
they had all of this like wind that day. It was super windy, so they had a band of stilt walkers. So it was like a whole like 4 stilt walkers that were actually playing on instruments also. So the drummer unfortunately his drum caught the wind. So then he started getting blown away, and we had to make a human. They were like, "Get the drummer!" And we all made a human chain, holding each other's hands so we could reach him and pull him to safety up against the wall because the shape of the drum was catching the air like a sail, and it was just like shooting him across the street.
And mind you, while this is happening, this entire thing is downhill on a big slope.
Oh yeah.
So also while all this wind is blowing, creating this human chain, and we're like, pull him to the side. So we pull him to the side where the railings are, and we just open the railings like, all right, that's a wrap. Like out.
Yeah.
Everybody out.
Everybody out.
That was crazy.
It was crazy. But fortunately, no drummers were lost. Everybody was fine. It was a happy day. As long as we start tall and we end tall, that's a good day.
We probably should have spoken to that drummer about drumming.
Ready for the perils. The perils.
The perils. Because where I live, we have a carnival every year, the Barlow Carnival. And there's always these two stilt walkers, these two lovely ladies. And every year my son has a photograph taken with them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, last year, I keep on saying this year because we're in the new year now. Last year, he's now getting to that age, you know, he's 11, so he's more aware of women. And this time he was a bit more, you know. I said, do you like them? And he went bright red. No.
That's great. Hey, what's life if you can't make fun of your kid a little bit and rib him for, getting distracted by the pretty ladies?
See, there's a band who I interviewed. I'm not sure if you're aware of them. They also do a horror genre, and they're called Ward 16. And they've done 3 albums. So the third album is about to come out, and they tell a story about a fictional female serial killer called Psycho Berry. And but it's done in reverse. So the new album that's coming out is basically the start of her journey, and it's done all in reverse. It's strange, but yeah, they're very good. And they all wear wonderful makeup and wonderful outfits, but they do a full-on stage show with a bit like an Alice Cooper sort of with murders and things.
Oh, nice,
no!
Nice.
Oops, sorry. Hang on, my computer's just done something funny. There we go. I thought I'd lost the whole signal then. Yeah, so they do all this horror stuff on stage, like Alice Cooper, and like I say, I'm not sure if you're aware of them because it's a similar sort of genre. So, what do you do on your stage shows?
We have a lot of different various we always wear a very coordinated crazy looks and stuff like that.
We try to kind of have like a theme somewhat for the band, so we all dress. It's not the same, but like in the same type of theme. Like one of our shows that we threw was called the Dark Wonderland, so it's like Alice in Wonderland, but
Alice in Wonderland.
So all of us dressed as like dark versions of Wonderland characters, and we even had a costume contest. And the winner had like a special prize from us, like at the end of the night and everything. So we're trying to do things like that where it'll be a theme for like the entire night, and it's like come dressed as this theme because that's what we're going to be. And other times it'll just be maybe it won't be a theme for the night, but the band will be uniformly like, okay, today make sure we wear like a lot of like red and black, like accents on it, like, or more black with accents on the red, or more white with, little black, but we just try to keep it uniform where it's not the same exact thing, but we all look like we belong together. Like same color scheme, the same type of outfit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the future, I have some plans for some bigger, crazier things I want to do definitely in the future. And some of the other things we've done is every once in a blue. You can't count on this because this band is about the music, but we are circus acrobats. And every once in a blue, Rose and I will throw in a little circus, either moment or performance at a show.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. That's what I was going to ask, to see if you incorporated any of your acrobats and that, because that'd be pretty cool.
We do it more in our music videos than we do in our shows, just because, goth clubs, they can't necessarily afford to pay for the level of circus that we are at. Circus is pretty pricey because, hey, I am actually risking my life.
Yeah.
I'm the person who is flying on top of him. So for most of the tricks that we do and the acrobatics that we do, it's me that's putting my life on the line in that
Yeah.
moment. So I'm not going to do that for $100 or for a door split. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just
Yeah.
depends on like the level of show that it is, and how much, the actual event is willing to help, you know, make the evening more special, because we have so much ability to do so many crazy things, you know what I mean? And we're just waiting for the right connections and the right event to really work with us to put together something really crazy. We've also done stuff like I have in the video for Boogeyman, we have these little monsters, these little monster puppet guys, and they're like bothering the main character, the final girl of the video, and they're the ones that are doing all the evil little tricks before the boogeyman comes out, because they're trying to make her like fall asleep. And I actually gave away, I was like, oh, Boogeyman got too many kids, so we did a giveaway of one of the little monster puppets at one of our shows, and that was really fun.
Oh, that's cool. Because your first single was 2019, Lights Out, and then you said COVID happened and you
Yeah.
released The Sky is Falling and Cut Like This album. So it's been quite a while. Have you any new music coming out?
We actually just finished working on a new song. We're going to be releasing it on Valentine's Day, and it is called Be My Valentine, and it is
Oh, wow.
very dark. It is a really sexy, dark track that is about obsessive love.
Right.
It's actually inspired by the character Gasai Yuno. She is what's called in Japanese a yandere character. A yandere is a character who will literally do anything for love, including kill people. So that is she sure does. Ooh, she sure does kill people in that show. So I thought that she was such a great, really fun character. Like, she's a very beloved character among people that like a yandere style character. Like, she is one of the queens of yandere. There are many compilations that you can, if you look up just her name and compilation, there's tons of them on YouTube and stuff, because
Yeah.
she's a character that caught people's attention for just how far she would go. So I thought it would be very funny to have a Valentine's Day song that is, this kind of over the top, extreme, character that, she just wants to be loved, but she will do anything to get it.
That sounds really cool. It's so you've got that coming out on Valentine's Day. That'd be but you do a podcast, I believe.
Oh yeah, we have our show, The Cutting Room Floor, where we review the best spooktastic films that we can find in streaming. I feel like there's so many different streaming channels now that sometimes you're spoiled for choice. You have so many options that it's very it's like it can be overwhelming. You're just like, I just want to find something cool to watch, so we just thought it would be really fun to have a show where we're just kind of like hanging out with your best friend, and like, oh, they're telling you about all these cool new horror movies, because that's literally what I do with my friends. Like, I'll be like, oh, but did you see this one? Oh, what about, oh, you like this? Oh, you like sci-fi guy? Oh, let me recommend blah 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 blah. And I was like, oh well, I got all these opinions to share. I might as well just do it on the internet.
Yeah, and we're always watching movies. Like, we are buddies. We love movies, so it's like why not?
It's our favorite thing to do. So yeah.
But you've done about 80 videos, haven't you, now, of reviewing?
Yep. We sure do.
I watched the one. Is it Mickey 13? The Robert Patterson film.
Oh yeah.
See, I love that
really
film.
Fun.
Yeah, I love that film. My partner's not so much a fan, but I really enjoyed it. It's my
I did too.
quirky taste,
It was much more comedic than I thought it was going to be, and I really enjoyed that about it. It took me off guard, because I didn't know that Robert Pattinson could be so funny. He was very, very funny. Like, he's always like this heartthrob, and he's always really sexy and stuff, and he's always, or brooding, you know what I mean? Like, he's usually brooding or sexy or both. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was really nice to see him be like this goofy, inept character. You know what I mean? That's just like he's just doing his best. You know?
Right. I'm happy to see him in something like I've never seen him play a role like that before. That was one of the reasons that I liked it, among others. You know.
What were really funny is I didn't look at the cast list. So when it were on, I didn't know it was Robert Pattinson. And my lady, she looked up and goes, "Oh, that's Robert Pattinson." I'm like, "No, it isn't." I had to Google it, and I'm going, "Oh wow, it's Robert Pattinson."
Like,
He's
oh,
quite, he's so different, and he's quite unrecognizable.
Yeah,
yeah,
he's so much more meek. You know what I mean? Like he's not like this, like
yeah,
big, like a tough character. Like he was literally just the Batman. He was the Batman. So
yeah.
it's really fun to see him be like
right. And
drop
he's
all of
kind
that
of
and
sheepish all of a sudden. I was
yeah,
like, wait, what?
to be this unassuming character. It was really cool.
See, me and my partner, we're a little bit different on the horror genre.
Mm-hmm.
She's like Freddy Krueger. I mean, that's a signed
Oh,
picture
I
from
love everything good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and this is when she met him last year,
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
and I paid, so she's going to meet him again this year,
That's
and
Yeah.
awesome.
and we both love Art the Clown. We absolutely love
Yeah.
terrifying movies.
That's
We're
a
just
really
massive
fun
fans.
character design.
Yeah,
Like
right.
that character design is pretty much pitch perfect,
Yeah,
like as far as like an evil clown design, like that's one of the strongest ones ever.
well,
Besides, of course,
yeah,
it is my
Of
favorite clown.
course, yes.
yeah,
It
It
is my
has to be
favorite
my
clown.
favorite. Yeah, right.
I an edge over Art because Art doesn't really talk at all. He's just like silent. So, and I think that's where he falls a little flat for me. Like I am a
okay,
much bigger fan of it because it is always messing with your mind. Like he's
He's always
forever
talking to you,
he
and
gets
and
into
yeah,
you in here,
the ones that talk that get me more just because there's a lot more personality to either draw me in or terrify me.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Just
think
because,
I blame Freddy Krueger. Freddy
yes,
Krueger
yes,
is at fault for this.
yeah, totally,
Yeah,
totally.
because I grew
Yeah,
up with that as my main bad guy,
yeah,
and
same here.
he's like a talk. He talks. You know what I mean? He
Yeah,
has
talks
jokes.
and taunts.
You know what I mean? He's just forever coming up with some stupid one-liner or just like making fun of you as he's like disemboweling
Right?
you. You know what I mean? It's
And
just
Yeah.
Bill Skarsgård just took that kind of concept and just made it absolutely terrifying as that character. It really works for me. The bad guys that taunt you, they draw me in so much more. It's just like, oh, he's terrifying.
It's that psychological terror.
Yeah.
Psychological gets me every time.
See, for me, that's my genre. I love
Yeah.
like Lon Chaney Jr., Bela Lugosi, Boris Karloff.
Nice.
I grew up watching all them, and the whole atmosphere is what created the fear.
Yeah.
Where modern day horror for me tends to use special effects and gore to drive the fear. And for me, the prime example is the original Nosferatu and the remake, the 2024 remake. And the 2024 remake, I just didn't find scary at all. You watch the original Nosferatu, and it's so creepy and so scary, and the vampire.
The OG Nosferatu definitely, it has like a lot of that striking, like that black and white, like kind of really cool extremes of contrast in the shadow and the light work that it was very influential just across so many movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I did enjoy the remake. I thought that especially the scene that I thought was one of the most beautiful ones is the scene where he's in the woods and the carriage just appears, and it's like it just appears and it's like just the way that the lights are filtering in. I thought that was a really good moment that like was cinematically beautiful and also just like very stark. So I felt like that really captured a lot of the vibe of the original one, that scene specifically, because of just like the darkness, the light coming through the trees, the starkness of like the dark wagon, you know what I mean? And he's just like, it was such a cool moment. I enjoyed it.
Well, I've spoken to and interviewed David Ellefson, and he invests in horror movies, the grassroots sort of horror, and he's very much into that genre. And same with Ron Bumblefoot Thal. He's actually starred in a couple of low budget horror movies as well.
Mhm.
So and then of course you get Rob Zombie and you get Ice Nine Kills, who are
Yeah.
very much into the horror genre and
Definitely.
extremes like Alice Cooper's and things like
Yeah.
that. Are any of them the sort of bands that you sort of grew up with, like Megadeth and
Love.
um,
Oh
I
yeah.
love
Rob Zombie is a big
Yeah.
one. Rob Zombie is a huge one that we both
Mhm.
really, really, really like a lot. I really like we as far as like newer bands that we like a lot, we love the band Raven Black,
yeah,
Wednesday 13, of course, the Duke of
I love
Swoop.
Wednesday. I
Oh, I
love
Yeah.
love Wednesday 13. He's great. You
yeah.
know, it's like I mean, I feel like we're fairly close as far as like, you know, like being I feel like he's the closest to us of like that horror punk influence stuff, but also having that metal kind of modern metal sound
I
Yeah,
agree.
as
Yeah.
opposed to kind of the more doo-woppy kind of influence that bands like Misfits had, and you know what I mean? Like there's kind of a thought that, you know, all of your songs have to be like whoa and retro in order to be horror punk. And I feel like Wednesday 13 kind of broke that chain and he was like,
I agree with
nah,
that.
he's
Yeah,
like,
right.
what if we did horror punk and we added like this modern metal, shock rock kind of glam metal vibe to it
yeah.
and threw it together, you know? So yeah, Wednesday 13 is a huge influence. Raven Black, In This Moment, I'm a really big fan of In
I
This
love
Oh
those.
Moment.
God,
Oh,
I'm
they put
huge
on an
fan, huge fan.
incredible
What an
show.
amazing show.
They put on one of
Oh
the best
yeah,
shows ever,
yeah.
Every
ever.
time I've seen them, it's been fantastic.
So
Yeah.
good.
I took my lady to see In This Moment, and
Oh, yeah.
well, they were supporting Hailstorm. We actually went to Hailstorm, and I was saying, "You,
Nice.
yeah, I bet Hail's In This Moment will blow you away." And she's like, "I've never heard of them." I says, "You're gonna love them." And when they finished, you were like, "Oh my, that was amazing!" You know,
Yeah,
I love
the
it
whole
because they do
stage show is just
graphics.
incredible.
yeah, yeah. They really bring the
I
theatrical
love that. I
level.
love that so
Like it
much.
reminded me of um like 90s era Manson when he used to just really put on like the most amazing spectacle of a live show.
Mhm.
You know, you'd
Yeah.
have he'd come out on the stilts, you'd have like different costume changes and different stuff like that. I feel like they had that similar thing going on.
Yeah,
And I really love that. You know, I mean I grew up listening to all kinds of really I'm a goth, so I listen to a lot of goth bands, but like a lot of weird stuff, like Rasputina, which was like you know three women with cellos, and they put the cellos through distortion, you know what I
oh
mean? And
wow,
yeah, they're like old school, and I don't. I feel like they're still together. I feel like they still make music, but they kind of lean towards some quirky avenues. And I really loved Jack Off Jill. That was one of my big bands growing up. I
yeah,
was into a lot of like Riot Girlish kind of stuff, and
yeah,
I was very lucky to perform at an event that was curated by Kathleen Hanna at Lincoln Center. That was a tribute to polystyrene.
oh yeah,
So from X-Ray Specs, so it was really cool. Like you know, I was really into like Riot Girl. I'm still into like any band that's got like a really angry female fronted,
Mhm.
you know, punky, spooky vibe. I'm about it. I was really into Daisy Chainsaw,
oh yeah, yeah. I love the
Katie
Daisy
Jane
Chainsaw.
Garside in
Yeah,
general, just any project that she's in, whether it's Daisy Chainsaw or Queen Adrena, really big fan of her. She's just a very compelling front person. That's the
Yeah, I
you
remember that
know,
song.
and when I
Yeah.
saw her in this that music video where she literally starts, it's like in a dingy rehearsal studio.
Yeah.
And I think it's called Pretty Like Drugs. Pretty
Yeah,
Like Drugs.
it is. I
Um,
know what you're talking about.
and she just starts beating her head onto like the cymbal of the or no the snare drum. She just starts like literally beating her face into it in time with the music. She's like crawling around, she's throwing herself on the floor, rolling around in the dirt. She's just like so passionate and filthy and rock and roll, and that's
yeah,
what I live for. I really just I love authenticity, rawness, realness. that DIY spirit, like anything like that. I'm really into Delilah Bond. And like the new school of really this activist, like angry woman taking over, like combining pop with metal, and just like Poppy, who also Poppy does a cover of Jack Off Jill. That song "Fear of Dying" is from my favorite band, Jack Off Jill. So
yeah, I nearly bought a Delilah Bomb vinyl yesterday in Liverpool, but unfortunately my funds didn't stretch because I just bought Yeah Yeah Yeah's album as well. So
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a huge Delilah Bomb fan, and
I love
yeah, I love
her. Dead Men Don't Break Us.
yeah,
Oh,
I love Saint Agnes. I don't know if you're familiar with that band, Saint Agnes.
they sound familiar. I'll have to look through my.
Yeah,
I
you
have
probably.
my Angry Girl playlist of just
I'm just
all
trying to
these
find
Angry Girls.
the song that they did. Is bugging the hell out of me, so I'm actually just quickly scooping through my phone to find the song. So I do apologize. The
Oh, it's
video
all
for
good.
it is the video is really good. It's I think it's the meanest kid oh man, it's my age. You see, I'm on a lot of painkillers at the minute. At my age, and I'm always saying this is a great excuse.
Well, if you want another
Yeah,
newish band that is angry and awesome and female fronted, right now there's this song that we've been playing constantly. It's from an artist named that's a non-binary artist named Bambi Thug.
Yes, Bambi.
oh, I love
And the song
Bambi
is
Thug.
called Red Rum.
Yeah,
I love
I
this song.
love this.
yeah, I love
Oh my
massive fan
goodness.
of Bambi Thug. Me and my
Woo!
partner absolutely love Bambi Thug. But the song is Saint Agnes and it's Meanest Kid, and
Okay, I'll check it
it's
out.
not really it. They do lots of heavy metal, and I love Saint Agnes. Kitty, she's a great vocalist, and but the
Nice.
video is her like just covered in blood and singing. It's a really
Heck
good
yeah.
video.
Nice.
I'll
Sounds
have to
like
send
my
it.
kind of
I'll
gas.
send it over to you. But
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
I'm a huge Bambi Thug fan. I
I
love
love Bambi Thug.
Bambi
Please
Thug,
send me some.
Harpy, Cassiette. Love Cassiette as well.
Yeah, Cassiette's good.
Yeah, some really amazing singers. But we caught up with Bambi Thug when we was watching Eurovision because we like a bit of cheese, and we were watching Eurovision, and she represented Ireland with. I can't remember the song, but she
I think we
represented
saw that
Ireland.
No, we saw that
Wait,
performance,
we
and it
saw
was
that
with all the
performance.
candles everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
It's so cool. I love the
yeah,
timing of the candles going on and off, and like
yeah.
they went in like a circle around them and stuff, and it's
Oh, it
like,
was
oh,
brilliant. But
so
we saw
cool.
live at we saw her, we saw Poppy as well. We saw at live at Download Festival, and for
Nice.
one of the songs, they actually bring her in on a wheelie bin, and then she pops out and singing. It was amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yes.
so yeah, we're huge Bambi Thug fans. We
Yeah,
really love
Bambi
her.
Thug is
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, I
yeah.
just found
So
him not that long ago, and I was like, yes.
Yes, very, very cool. So yeah, I'm always looking, I'm always finding different bands, and I'm very supportive. I refuse to believe, people. I love my music that I grew up listening to, of course, but I also am excited always to find new music, and especially
yes,
to find new female fronted bands,
Mhm.
just seeing people not give up in the face of a world that is seemingly just insane right now.
yeah,
We've gone to such a dark and scary place. And I think that it's very important for those voices to speak out and
yeah,
to say their truth and to be unafraid to point out the reality of what is going on.
yeah,
I think it's super important. Uh, I I don't really write about that in my music. My music is definitely stays more in a fictional place because that's where I take comfort. That's why I
yeah,
love horror movies, because I feel like this world is so incredibly messed up right now that we
yeah,
live in, especially my country. I am so disappointed in it, and what's going on over here. And I think that um, I take comfort in monsters
Yeah.
because it is an evil that is far easier to bear and than the actual evil that's going on in our world. Like, please let me have a werewolf or a vampire. Please let me have one of those. Not this reality.
At least you know who the monster is that
At least
relates to.
yeah, you know,
You know?
that's the comfort of a horror movie is that it's that the monster is this easy to spot thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, here's this terrifying werewolf. That is clearly the threat, you know?
Yes.
In real life, threats are not as easy to spot.
In real life, they're wearing smiles. You
In
know,
real
and
life,
it's
they're
like,
wearing
yeah,
smiles
yeah.
and suits, and they're
oh,
telling you that everything's going to be just fine if you just comply. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
I think that it's comforting in a way to, you know, that's my comforting escape is
Yeah.
watching
Yeah.
monsters and zombies and, you know, dragons and like, yes, please, any of those instead.
right?
I'll take any of those.
Well, it's
Send me
really
there.
funny that you were mentioning about finding new bands. I cover grassroots bands in our local city, Sheffield, every Thursday, and they're doing like a battle of the bands at the moment to
Oh, that's good.
do a music festival. And we have the traditional band that was like Motorhead who started it, and then there was a more of a goth band in the middle, and then at the
Yeah.
end there were these two young girls who were at university, and one of them was on mixing decks, and the other one was singing and occasionally picking up the guitar, called Your Personal Vendetta. And they've
Ooh, good
only
name.
they've only
Yeah.
got a handful of
Yeah.
songs, and they did a few covers, and I thought they were absolutely brilliant.
Excellent.
Very much on the same wavelength of Harpy and Bambi Thug, very much similar
Excellent.
sort of performance. And the older generation who were into the more traditional, I mean, older generation of my age, that sounds really bad. But the traditional metalheads who like the Motorhead band or
Mhm.
the goth sort of band, you know,
Yeah.
drums, guitar, bass, singer, traditional.
Yeah.
They didn't really understand two girls, one singing, the other one on mixing decks, and
Yeah.
you know, I think they're a bit confused and scared by it all. And I'm there taking photos, and I'm thinking these are amazing. They're absolutely
Yes.
awesome, and it's. I've seen quite a few bands already, and it's only we're not even through January, but for this year, I've seen quite a few good bands already. That's my highlight, and I think that's my
Excellent.
highlight in the last 6 months was seeing this band. They were just so good.
That's
So
awesome. We've
yeah, so
definitely gotten the look of confusion from we've definitely gotten that. I remember one time we were playing in Delaware. It was for an event called Pretty in Punk, and it was all female fronted punk bands and stuff like that. You know, combination. It was like punk, metal, you know, but just the
yeah,
singer had to be, you know, or people in the band had to be, you know, female or non-binary or whatever. And so it was really funny because we're playing. And then you know, we have quite heavy parts in our songs, and I was screaming something, and like it was a big metal scream. And this guy comes in, like he's like walking past, stops dead in his tracks, turns to look, because there was like it was like an open doorway, you know what I mean? So there was
yeah,
no
yeah,
actual physical door there. It was just like a round doorway thing. So he's like walking past, and I guess he was heading toward like the bathroom, but he literally stops dead, right? Hearing these unearthly screams. And then he turns to look. And then he sees that it's coming out of little me. You know what I mean? He's like, wait, what? You know what I mean? He did the wait, what? Like lean in, you know, like, is that really you? And later on after the show, like, yeah, I saw you stop. He's like, yeah. He's like, what kind of pedal do you use to make that sound? I was like, oh no, I don't use a pedal. That's my voice. That's what I sound like when I scream. And he was
yeah.
like, what? But then you went right from those crazy screams into like this melody.
Yeah.
And I thought it was like I thought maybe you had a backing for, I was like, no, no, all of that is me. That's just me. And it was like, what the hell? It just
Yeah.
blew his mind, and it was so fun. Like I was just like, yes, women
Oh
can
wow.
scream.
I know Cassiette does a Lady Gaga cover, and she does this quite guttural sort of thing,
Yeah.
sort of noise. And Bamba Thug actually says it sounds like she's exercising the devil. And,
Yes.
and it's like, where do you even get that sound from? Because Cassiette, you look at her and you think, there's no way you can make them noises.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's a very specific technique to warm up before the
Yeah.
show. I do jumping jacks while growling the alphabet. So it'll be like, hey, hey, stay, hey, hey. And I'll just be like jumping jacks. He's laughing his ass off.
I'm just like, oh, there she
He's
goes
like, oh, there
again.
she is. He's
Yeah.
like, you can go warm up. Like, come here, come listen to this door.
Well, I'm going to send you some messages from some bands for you to listen to from the UK. My Personal Vendetta, Cartoons Can't Die, another really good one, and of course Ward 16, which I think you'd love.
For
Um,
sure.
but going back to your music, you've got a song coming out on Valentine's Day. Have you any other music in the pipeline?
We
Oh,
do,
we do
actually,
actually.
yeah.
So it's been longer than we wanted to or realized since we had like some new music. I think the last new music we had was when we released Boogeyman, I
And
think,
the remix,
and
yeah.
the remix, and that was like in 2022. And again, it
Yeah.
was just the Boogeyman and the remix. And I looked at the time and I was like, where has the time gone? It's been way too long since we put out like a substantial amount of music again.
Yeah.
So
So
then,
there's a bunch in the
yeah,
stockpile
I
now.
went on a writing tirade the past like couple of months with just my guitar and programming drums and just kept
Yeah.
shooting. What do you think of this? What about this? What about this? What about this? Oh,
Yeah.
I got another finished one. Check this out. It was like, that's it. I'm like, yeah. So we have the next like 5 songs already musically written, and now we just gotta sit down.
Various stages of recording
Yeah,
for all
yeah,
of them.
and just really record them. But I'm thinking about releasing one approximately every 2 months this year. So February will release, and then again
Yeah.
like in April, then again like in June.
Yeah.
Leading up to our EP at
Yeah.
some point later this year. I'm not exactly sure when we want to drop it, but we do have the music finally now. So we're just going to keep releasing singles all year long with accompanying like videos and everything, and merch, probably have some kind of merch to go along with that specific song tied all together. And then,
Yeah.
towards the end of the year, don't quote me on this, but maybe somewhere around August or something like that, then we're going to drop our next EP, which it's been a while, and then continue releasing, singles from it following,
Yeah.
because it's time to get it moving again,
Yeah, for sure. It's just that I mean, all of these things are a lot of work to do at the level that we want to do them at. You know what I mean? Because I refuse to use AI. I will not do that. I have always done all of the artwork for every single and album that we've put out.
Yeah.
So that's like something that's very important to me. And yeah, so we don't compromise. So unfortunately, that means that sometimes things take longer than we want them to. I also just had a lot of stuff going on. During COVID time, I lost my dad. So that was
Oh,
like a really
yeah.
big, um, I just couldn't write for a while,
Yeah.
to be honest. I really didn't, I was quite depressed, and I was doing my best to handle it with as much grace as I could,
Yeah.
considering the circumstance, and
Yeah.
it was wild because it's like I was there dealing with people that didn't want to wear masks and didn't believe that COVID existed. And I was like, if COVID doesn't exist, then why is my dad not alive? You know what I mean? Like I just shut people down like that so quickly. It's such a disgusting thing to me. And it's like a
Yeah.
spitting in the face of all of these people who have lost their loved ones to this terrible disease. You know what I mean? So yeah, I was dealing with that, and I was very paranoid um about going back out into the world because of what happened. Because not only did my dad pass away, but my best friend's dad passed away. And it was just like,
Yeah.
I was just like, wow, like this thing is just gonna destroy everything, But unfortunately, it did not, and we're still here, and we're ready to continue rocking out and putting out amazing spooky music as much as we can until the day we die.
Also, something we didn't have before, which slowed the process down, is now we finally have a home studio set up.
Yeah.
So before in the past, one of the things that slowed us down with coming out with new music, our first album, we went all the way to North Carolina for a friend of ours to record it at his home studio because we didn't just have the capability at the time.
Yeah.
And, over those years, we've been collecting all the gear and the knowledge that we've needed. So now this album, she mixed and mastered it yesterday. The very first fully mixed and mastered and recorded by us song, for the Valentine song. So now moving forward, it's just something that's just going to go a lot smoother.
It'll
not
going
to be slowing us down anymore. If I come up with an idea, I can record it even if she's not here. Because I'm programming a lot of the drums, so I'm putting the drums and the guitar together. So then I'll just record some guitars, and then when she comes around, I'll pass it through. And like, what do you think? It's like the process is so much quicker like that because I have everything now. So it's a game changer for us.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. You need to get your asses over to the UK. Where I live, we've got ghost tours and a castle, and not far away is York, where there's more ghost tours. And then we're not that much further away, we've got Whitby, which you obviously know very well. So it'd be cool if we can get you over here. And
a bunch of places, but I have yet to travel to the UK.
Same here.
Somehow, I still have not made my way over there. I've been to Japan. I've been to South Africa. We've been all over the United States. I've been to some Latin American countries, but I need to go to the UK. I definitely.
It is totally on my list of
places for sure.
I'm sorry to think you've got like your UKists, UK phobia. You just don't want to come.
Oh no, I want to come. I want to go over there.
Definitely.
We actually love it's just we just love to experience new places and new people, and it's definitely a big goal. I would love to especially perform at something like Whitby Gothic Weekend or something like that. You know what I mean? Like you guys have so many really cool Gothic festivals and stuff. Maraluna, that I've just like a bunch of my friends have played at. I'm very good friends with Angel Spit. I don't know if you know them, if you listen to industrial music, but really good friends with Angel Spit, and they've performed in a lot of those events, and they were like, "Oh yeah, those events are fun. Like you would have a great time over there." I'm like, "Damn it! Oh man, I gotta like." We hung out backstage with do you know the band Das Ik?
No.
They're Das Ik, DASICH. They're a German industrial band. So we performed with them with our old band. So we were like all hanging out backstage. Those guys were really, really funny. They're like, it's so funny because they're like these serious industrial German guys, but backstage they were just hilarious. Like they were making jokes about being cannibals, and it was so fun hanging out with them. And they were just like, yeah, like you would really like Berlin. You need to come and visit and blah blah blah. So I really need to get over to the UK in general.
Yeah,
you
definitely do. So 14th February, new single which is called
Be My Valentine.
Be My Valentine. And you've got other stuff out already. You've got your album Cut Like This.
Yep.
And you've got singles out. How can we get to listen to your music?
We have we're on Bandcamp. We have our music on our site as well.
And CutLikeThisMusic.com website. You can purchase anything you want digitally and have it instantly.
Yep. We're on all of the streaming services. We have 4 music videos out on YouTube, all collected together in a playlist to make it easier because, like you said, we do have 80 episodes of our show, so you don't want to manually have to search in there. And literally, when you go to our YouTube page, just look at the playlist. We have a playlist that has all of our music videos just all together.
Nice and simple.
Just to make it easy for everybody. we also do a lot of clips from our live shows and stuff like that, so people can see what we look like on stage. We have a lot of fun. Like that's really the biggest thing that I think is important as a band,
right?
Is that, like, for me, it doesn't matter whether it's 8 people or 8,000 people in that audience. I'm going to give you 100% of my show, and I'm going to give you my heart on a platter. All of the good sides, the bad sides, the ugly sides, the screamy sides, you know what I mean? All of it. It's all going to
And
be
some
there.
fabulous dresses.
Oh yes, there's going to be some fabulous costumes. There may be a costume change in the middle of the set. It's very possible,
My partner wears these. My partner wears these 50s dresses, and the latest one she's got a Suicide Squad. Different characters. A Suicide Squad, and people look at her and go, "Oh, you're into you're into 50s music," and she's like, "No, I'm into heavy metal." Well, why do you dress like you do? Because I like the dresses and they suit me.
Have you never heard of Psychobilly? Do they
Yeah.
not know that there are people that listen to really heavy music that have that style? I like a lot of that vintage kind of style as well. I have a lot of those kind of, well, you'll see on my show. I wear them a lot. I love a good horror pinup dress. I actually just got one recently from a little shop here in New York City called Enz's. And it is a Universal Monsters dress, and it has like all of the posters from the different Universal Monster movies. Like, it's like the creature from the Black Lagoon, Bela Lugosi, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, the stuff I like. So yeah.
Yes. I'm about that.
That's Enz's, is it? E-N-Z-I?
Yeah, E-N-Z''S, Enz's. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. I'll have a look
They
at that.
have an online shop too, actually. It's cute stuff. Cute stuff.
All right, I'll have a look at that, and because I buy my ladies' dresses. They say I've got the is it queer eye for a straight guy? When I first met her, I looked at her and I knew instantly what size she was. I bought a dress for her, and she's like, "There's no way that'd fit me," and it fitted her perfectly.
Oh, nice!
I've been doing it ever since, so I buy her all sorts
really
of dresses.
Stylish. When you showed us the picture of her and Robert Englund, I was like, "Oh, I like her style!" Like immediately, I was like, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah, I don't know if you could see.
Yeah, no, I can tell. She's got a rockabilly kind of style. I love it.
Yeah. And that coat there actually is a Rocky Horror Picture Show one. It's got Frankenfurter on the back.
I see it.
Yeah, you can't see on the back, but it's Frankenfurter on the back of the coat. Because we're both massive Rocky Horror fans as well. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there are pictures of me dressed as Frankenfurter online. Terrible.
Hey, happy wife, happy life, right?
Exactly. So at the end of the interview, my lady Tracy, she gives me a question to ask band members, and it's basically tell me something that we don't know about each other. So you, Rose, you tell me about Thorn, and Thorn, you tell me about Rose. Tell us something we don't know about you, or as we like to say in this country, dish the dirt.
Dish the dirt. All right.
Well, something you don't know about me is I went to pro wrestling school.
Yeah. Wow. There you
go. Like I was like dead.
I think we were supposed to. I'm supposed to tell you about your thing, and you're supposed to tell about my thing.
Well,
pro wrestling, that's cool.
Well, so if you didn't know, further detailing his wrestling training, he trained at Ring of Honor Wrestling School, and his coach was none other than Daniel Bryan.
Right. Wow.
It's actually Bryan Danielson. They flipped his name around in WWE.
Yeah, his actual name is Bryan Danielson, but his wrestling name is Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, the king of the Yes movement. And it was like, yes. Like there was a big movement like going around wrestling like a couple of years ago. And that guy was actually my coach before he went to WWE when I was training.
And what was your wrestling name?
I didn't get that far exactly. Yes. A whole long story. We won't go into that, but it didn't end up getting quite as far as I had hoped.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
It was derailed, but that's okay because then we got to have him join a band, become a rock star, and also become a circus acrobat. So pretty decent trade-off.
Not bad, right?
Decent trade-off. Decent trade-off. So now you're saying something about me.
Yeah. Well, people don't know about you that you got your bachelor's in art.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
People are always surprised when I tell them, like, she has a bachelor's in art, right? And you're like, wait, what? And I'm like, like, put some.
Which is why you do the artwork for the CD.
Yes. I definitely put a lot of love into it. I definitely made an old school style, just like a full booklet, 4-page booklet, and the insert. I just wanted exactly what I grew up with, which is I always loved opening the CD case, seeing the lyric book. You know what I mean? For me, that was like gold when I was growing up, because back in the day, it wasn't easy to see, to look. You couldn't easily look up what the lyrics were to something, so I would literally record songs that were playing on the radio on my little tape deck, right? I would record my favorite songs so that way I could listen to them, and then I would pause, and I would literally have to transcribe all what I thought the lyrics were. So I'd be like, right, pause. Okay. All right, play. Okay. Stop. Okay. All right. Hold on. Rewind. Okay. I think he said apple. I don't know. And so when I would be very excited when I was able to even, buy music, to get that lyric sheet so that I could actually know what the lyrics were for real, because you would do your best to guess it, but sometimes the effects would be on it and you wouldn't necessarily be able to make it out. You know what I mean? So you would just do your best to try to figure it out. So I wanted that for my album. I was like, I'm going to make a physical 4-page booklet, and I'm going to cram every single lyric into here.
That process that she did for learning lyrics, that's basically what I did to learn how to play guitar. Like, once I got into rock music, because I grew up listening to something else, but when I finally got into rock because of one of my friends, and I got a guitar, that was how I learned. Like, I had, what was it? I had 2 albums. It was the Offspring, that Pretty Fly for a White Guy album, and there was this other underground metal band called Nothing Face. And between those 2 albums, I hit play. It was like, what note was that? And rewound. How do I find that? Where's and then rewind. Like, I obsessively sat in my room and just rewound for practically, it felt like eternity at the time. And I learned how to play both of those albums front to back. That was like my training wheels,
Oh, and my bonus thing that people don't know about me is that the very first album that I ever bought myself with my own money was a cassette tape of The Offspring. It was their first album, Smash. That was my very first album that I ever bought myself. The next one was Hole, Live Through This. That was the next album that I bought.
That's a blast. Hole, blast from the past, that one. Geez.
My first rock metal album that I ever purchased was 2 at the same time. Do you remember Columbia House back in the day when they're like, sign up and get, like, I don't know, some absurd amount of CDs for like $1 or something? Like, here, have 5 CDs for like $1 or something like that. I was like, I got $1, little kid, right? So
you didn't realize that it came with a catch, which was that.
No, actually, I was fine with the catch. I was happy with the catch. So it was fine for me. But because I grew up listening to rap and hip hop. But when the first rock metal album same time was Korn's Follow the Leader album and Orgy's Blue Monday album. The one that they covered. So Freak on a Leash, that was what got me into rock. Actually, it was Korn. It's Freak on a Leash, the video and the song. That changed my life. I was like, what am I listening to? What and how? And it was Columbia House. I got those 2 albums at the same time and never looked back, apparently. Here we are.
Oh, fantastic. Excellent. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you both. And if you come over to the UK, you're definitely welcome in my neck of the woods. When you come, you're welcome in my neck of the woods, and I'll take you around and show you some of the sites. But thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Dale. Thanks for inviting us.
Yeah, I'm going to message you some bands for you to listen to as well.
Hell
Sounds good.
yeah.
Great.
All right, okay. Catch you both later.
All
And good
right.
luck with your new music.
Oh, absolutely.
And I did send you words. Excuse me. I did mail you a copy of our CD with a couple of other goodies in there. Just give it some time because coming from the US and then it's like crazy weather over here now.
So
too.
you'll have a fun package to open up eventually.
Yeah, I would hope that sometime before February is over you would get it. But
Yeah,
it's definitely in the mail out to you already. Put it in on
that's
Friday, all right?
absolutely brilliant. Thank you. I really appreciate that, and I can't wait.
And let us know what's going on with this, so we can share it with our followers too.
I will do. Oh, that before you go, guess what we
Mhm.
just bought? You're gonna like this. We bought
Oh,
ourselves an ambulance.
Whoa.
what?
We're gonna turn it into a
Vacation and
camper van.
vacation.
Yeah, we're gonna turn it into a camper van. So we bought an
Oh,
ambulance.
Okay.
A band has already turned around and says, "Can we use it in our music video?" So
yes. I love it.
I thought you'd like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, my cousin bought a hearse. So because we wanted to buy a hearse, but my cousin bought one, so he can't buy it now. So we bought an ambulance instead.
So you
Nice.
drive the ambulance to his house and then you take the hearse to the other destination. Imagine they're driving together on the highway
man.
next to each other, like, oh no.
Yeah, yeah. See somebody who's texting and driving out and just point to the hearse behind you. Yeah, but anyway, thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to the CD. Thank you very much.
Great.
Awesome.
Thanks for having us, Dale.
Thanks.
All right, see
Take
you
care.
later. Bye. Bye.